All right, Dota 2 fans, just like Navi, we're back. Dire complexity, ESL One Hamburg qualifiers for North America. And the Dire side, literally, and the team will take the first game win. Evil Geniuses earlier today 2-0ing former MVP Phoenix / the new Immortals. And the winner of this match will move on to the semis to face up against EG. PPD versus EG hype is real, Franz, if they take this game.
For real, for real. So Dire, they pick up Spiritbreaker first. This is a pretty good first pick, it doesn't really give out a lot of information about your draft. But he's also one of the easiest initiators to pull off in that game. And that doesn't mean that he's like the low skill cap hero. It's more like you pick him when you want a tanky support hero that will always be able to get his initiation off, or at least try to, because there are ways to stop him. For example, Fisher. So Earthshaker, first pick on complexity. This hero is always a good first pick just because he's got 3 stuns, 2 of which are sort of hard to deal with because Echo Slam is instant and Fisher is also sort of instant. Like there's no projectile speed and it's quite long range. So pretty, I can't really say generic, but pretty standard first picks from both teams so far, and bans. And the Dire, they actually ban out Jakiro. We've seen this hero a lot. I feel like that hero's really hit or miss. And complexity, they also pick up Puck. So taking the Puck away from CCNC this game, I think CCNC is probably, or Puck for CCNC is probably one of his best heroes, and complexity are probably correct in taking that away from him. We'll see how the Dire respond. There's quite a few ways to counterpick Puck. You have heroes like Nyx, Silencer, or just silences in general. So Dire, we'll see what they do with the second pick here.
Kudos to these two teams, ignoring Lich so far. But it does feel like with a Spiritbreaker, you need a more stable lane support. Whereas I don't know that Nyx necessarily fills that role. They are going to go for the Silencer. So pseudo counter, soft counter to the Puck. He can itemize against it, but it definitely is nice to have in your arsenal. Also, kind of follows up the Spiritbreaker nicely with the global, and is a pretty damn good safe lane support.
I mean, it's not even just a follow-up for the Spiritbreaker. It like prepends the Spiritbreaker. Like, the charge comes in, and right before it hits, you global silence, and if the Puck or the Earthshaker don't have a silence removal, they're hosed, right? You get hit by as soon as Puck gets hit by the Spiritbreaker, the chain stun comes, and Puck's not the kind of hero, at least without items, he's not the kind of hero that can survive that kind of initiation. So, pretty good pickup from the Dire there. But complexity, they still have 3 more picks to deal with this. You can pick up some counter initiation, or you can go for more of a split push oriented lineup just to make sure that the Dire can't fully capitalize on this Silencer Spiritbreaker lineup.
Lifestealer ban comes out as well from Swindles.
Bit of an interesting ban. I feel like it would work better for them, but it kind of makes sense to me because Magic Immunity is really good against their 2 heroes so far, and what hero with Magic Immunity? Sorry, my English is really bad, but Lifestealer's got natural Magic Immunity, so that makes him really good against Earthshaker.
These goddamn Canadians in there.
I tried to go for like a complex way of saying it, and then I just messed myself up. So I'm gonna stop talking now.
Short and sweet, my man.
That's the way to do it.
Underlord ban comes out from complexity. Really trying to absorb here. Swindle Mullins versus PPD, 2 of the great minds in NA Dota as far as drafting.
Yeah, so the Underlord ban might be... It could be in response to something that Dire has run before, or maybe they're kind of afraid of the Underlord style of gameplay. So Underlord is like a surprisingly good hero for split pushing. I mean, he's slow, but he pushes out waves with a single spell, and he helps his team move around the map. And when you help your team move around the map, when you have a Spiritbreaker and Silencer, it becomes that much more effective because you are very good at making the enemy team run around with your Firestorm, split pushing around the map, and then you have this really strong way of starting the fight, which is charge and global silence. So far, I mean, we've only seen 2 heroes, so the team fight and the initiation can only get better from here.
Take a wise ban as well from PPD's side. This hero has been used as a trump card, as kind of a curveball last pick a lot, and has really come into favor recently, and being super single target oriented thus far with their opening season. Or wrench. We'll see which directions compLexity go.
I mean, same with Phantom Lancer, right? You can start drafting your core. As soon as you start revealing your cores, compLexity can start deciding if they want Phantom Lancer or Chaos Knight. Especially since Dire don't want to pick up those two heroes, because compLexity have already drafted two heroes that are sort of good against Phantom Lancer and CK. So maybe take out the annoying illusion heroes now, so you don't have to deal with them later, or potentially deal with them at all. We'll see how the Dire responds to the Warlock.
Thank God, again, they are the Dire side in this game.
I'm just gonna start calling them the Radiant if they're on the Radiant. Hell yeah. compLexity actually. compLexity is sort of a strange response to the silencer. I mean, they pick like one of the biggest team fight supports in the game, Warlock. And so far it seems like compLexity's whole lineup, again, similar to last game, very team fight oriented, very 5-man oriented, you know, like they want to be grouped up, they want to cast your spells in synergy with each other to try to just end the team fight right there. But the Dire, they pick Bloodseeker. I mean, Bloodseeker is a hero that really benefits from games where there's like quick skirmishes across the map, you know, like Bloodseeker, he excels at hunting down targets that are kind of stuck out of position with Rupture, and good at like just he's good in situations where his team sort of opens up a fight, a bunch of stuff happens, no one's really able to stun the Bloodseeker this game except for the Earthshakers, so he should be able to get a lot done. But Lone Druid, bit of an interesting pick.
I fail to see where Swindles is going with one my mind cannot comprehend, but I do see the very readily apparent synergy with the first three heroes opening for the Dire. I think this is an excellent game for the Bloodseeker. Often you're going to see Puck, you know, phase shift that first charge, and if he doesn't have his blink up or his use up, that's an easy follow-up with the Blood Right. In general, just a Rupture, very nice against what is usually an elusive mobile hero, Puck. Lone Druid is a self-sufficient laner. Warlock is a very good solo support, so it can allow them to be a bit more greedy in the early game. But I think you rely a lot on your Savage Roar, and into two silences, that's going to be kind of difficult to get off.
He's kind of self-sufficient, but I think the number one weakness of Lone Druid is that if you fall behind, there's no catching up. Your hero relies on getting ahead early and then using that early advantage to just help your team knock down towers, help your team secure map control. But the Dire, the pickup potential on their team is really solidified with that buy, right? I mean, they can go for kills on any of compLexity's heroes. They're not obligated to really respect the 5-man aggression from compLexity. They can be like, hey, we want to split push, and then we're gonna pick you off when you move around the map. And if the Dire get into a situation where they can make that scenario happen, I think they'll definitely be favored to win this game.
The last bands coming through. Sniper is going to be removed from the pool for compLexity, and with all this front line, certainly Sniper seems like he would have free reign in the back of these team fights. So I feel like it's a wise ban from compLexity. PPD mulling over his last decision.
Yep. So it looks like they're missing either a support or an offlaner. I don't think they want to have this Earthshaker as the offlaner for compLexity, just because it's going to be up against either a Bat or a Bloodseeker. Neither of those matchups are good for Earthshaker. So the Dire, thinking about this final ban, I think the Dire right now, what they probably need the most is a hero that helps push out the lanes. Right now, the only hero, whenever you play like a split, not really split push, whenever you play a lineup that wants to split the enemy team up, you need at least one hero, or you need your heroes to be better at keeping the lanes out than the enemy team, just so that the enemy team has to move around and respond to all of this movement from you. And so I think this final pick here should be a hero that can help make that happen. But this really Puck would have been one of the best options, but that is obviously taken from compLexity, so we'll see what PBD chooses here.
Okay, different. Very different.
Very different.
So that'll mean either we see a mid silencer or a mid bat rider for their squad. I guess you could put actually the most likely is that the Bloodseeker is mid with the bat rider in the offlane.
Yeah. So, you know, Wraith King's kind of difficult for compLexity to deal with right now. He's a hero that can jump on top of the Lone Druid. He's a hero that potentially buys a BKB, so he's sort of immune to a lot of the crowd control coming out of compLexity. And you know, apparently I was completely wrong, and this pick really threw me off a little. But
yeah,
we'll
it's kind of a slow building up or a slow building hero to like add to the rest of the lineup.
To be honest, Wraith King seems like a hero that PyCat really enjoys playing. I mean, I think we've seen PyCat on this hero many times over the last year, even when he was playing with the Na'Vi squad. But they pick up Beastmaster, a hero that is more than enough to help kite the Wraith King. So Wraith King sort of has the same problem as Lone Druid, where he's much, much, much better when he has a good start because he doesn't really catch up easily. And these two carries, they can catch up, but they need their team to make the space for them. So we will see how that goes.
Well, one thing I can say for sure is that compLexity kicks the Dire's ass when it comes to cosmetics.
It really does.
They're a lot better looking overall. Wraith King with the standard helmet for PyCat. You said he liked playing the hero. I don't know, man. Where's the hats?
Maybe he just likes the standard Wraith King hat. I'm gonna look up what kind of hats for Wraith King. You can do the early game stuff.
There's some good ones. I forget the name of the set.
The standard one's pretty sick though.
Is it? I don't know. I find it kind of.
It's the only one that shows his face. The other ones kind of show his face, but.
I thought that was the whole point of cosmetics: is hide everything under gear. Zai, under the cover of smoke.
I'm looking at his cosmetics. It's not the standard hat. He actually does have a hat on.
Oh,
it just looks like
just one of those like 5-cent ones.
Eternal Rain.
Okay.
He doesn't have a back or arm slot though, so falling a little bit short.
I'll give him kudos on the weapon. The weapon not bad, but I mean compLexity across the board. Even the Warlock, pretty good looking for complexities. If anything, Z-Freak lacking a bit.
My Wraith King set sucks. I'm looking at it now. Gotta sell some PUBG items and buy some Dota 2 items.
Honestly, gumbag.
Need my blue high top trainers though. But going into the game, looks like Z-Freak has the Earthshaker with boots. Pretty standard item pickup from him. Just boots, 3 clarities, you know, run around, be as annoying as possible, look for potential kills with Fissure blocks. Especially when you have a hero like Puck in mid who can actually dish out quite a bit of right-click damage to the Bloodseeker. So if CCNC is not careful with managing his HP in the mid lane against actually it's Chessie in the mid lane, then there could be a potential kill on him.
Yeah, the one of the very few heroes that they actually flex limp off this mid lane or is Chessie's. So something else to mention about the hero is that it is definitely one of Chessie's signatures, and he's very comfortable on it and has a decent matchup against the CCNC Bloodseeker. I mean, as does the limp Puck if they elect to put it there, but seems like it'll be the laning configuration they favor for now. Limp being ranged is perhaps a little less susceptible to this combination of Zai and Misery bottom lane. But if there's any time for them to kill Limp, it'll be early on here. 4 stacks of Napalm. Misery perhaps thinking about it. They're going to force out the Illusory Orb, and 5 stacks deep. Limp will have to wait for that to expire.
Limp doesn't have a magic stick either, but Z-Freak trying to pull the lane back for now by pulling. And let's take a look at the top lane. Moose taking quite a bit of damage here from PPD and PyCat.
Yeah, Kyle nearby. Warlock, I feel, one of the more underrated laning supports. The ability to spam out Shadow Word has some pretty good right-click base damage as well.
Yeah.
But with no ability to pull here, or limited ability, I'm going to try it here. And they actually do get the side, as I mentioned. The lane becomes that much harder.
Middle. Not sure if anything will happen here. Maybe just a little bit of a hit or two. Misery says hello, goodbye.
Resummon on the bear not too long ago as well.
He's making what I like to call the bounty rune relay. The move.
The lap around the map, so to speak.
Yeah. It's something you do as a position 4 or 5 now, you know? You just, look, Z-Freak's doing the same thing. It's like, hey...
This is when they popularized Tranquil Boots Slardar and just sprint around the map and gather bounty runes.
Why even help my teammates when there's 4 potential bounty runes on the map? I mean, I'm not sure why support Nature's Prophet isn't the thing, you know? You just teleport around the map, go for those bounty runes. Get 3 if you use the TP scroll.
Well, early game a bit stagnant at this point, and
CCC getting a little bit low here in the mid lane. Charge comes out.
Oh, the right click up the hill does land, and they do get it with the tick of the Orb of Venom.
Courier though.
Misery will grab the courier.
Hashtag worth, to be honest.
And charge back up into the lane. Arcane Rune helping him out in that regard. CCNC back to the lane. Chessie reaps the benefits of that full salve duration.
Not too bad for CCNC though. He has three range creeps coming in his way, so there's going to be a lot of EXP.
And that's why you see compLexity trying to push him off the lane here. He will sustain.
Maybe when you're older.
And so up top, Moo might be going down here.
Has a salve and the thirst though. Keeping vision for now. He will be able to salve up PPD. And Pycat a little bit low here. Kyle though, with no real chase potential being a Warlock, and the Boars are finished off at this point.
So I think Chessie sort of winning the mid lane right now. I mean, he's behind in EXP only because CCNC got that huge burst of EXP, whereas the Earthshaker was probably taking a little bit there. So it could be an issue when CCNC hits level 6 on the Bloodseeker. If
Z-Freak could be in a little bit of trouble here. Couple of stacks. He tries to jack the bounty rune and may pay for it. Gets the Fisher off though. Third stack of Napalm now, and the turn rate. Oh. Shrine not available, and Zai will find the kill, it seems, with one more right click. Meanwhile, mid lane, Misery wrapping through onto Chessie.
71%.
Double damage rune into there as well, but Chessie just going to throw some harass back on towards the cow. Little animal on animal crime. Limp has had a little bit of a free time bottom lane for the last little bit and has recovered nicely.
Ooh,
in CS.
nice
CCNC going to get fissured, but he does not get blocked entirely.
Got the root. No root.
Charge inbound from base. CCNC salving up. Maybe they look to get active here. Often we see the 2-1-2 build here, but CCNC favoring the extra point in thirst. So can't really follow up this charge with much. They do force out the Fisher, and the root on the high side actually doing tons of damage to CCNC under the effects of Blood Rage. But he will be able to drag these creeps back under his tower and try to heal the last hit or two. Now, Swindle Melons rotating in towards mid lane. Fatal Bonds is there. Savage Roar. They're trying to chase forward, but can't just yet kill off Misery. Shadow Word will do the job, though. Will die.
Nice pickup from compLexity there. They also have a siege creep in the mid lane, so gonna get a little bit of tower damage here. CCC dipping a little bit low, but I mean,
Bloodseeker
kind of a difficult kill for them to go. They have to trade a lot of damage, and CCNC does have that rupture up with Misery charging in.
Yeah, he's gonna cancel it up as Z-Freak makes his way to the northern bounty rune, or the northern river rune. Limp gonna pick up an invisibility rune with the bottle, and he's got the dream coil as well. Yeah, the Warlock is gonna be caught, but now Limp rolling through with the coil. Rupture is gonna be there from CCNC. Limp makes it away though to the shrine. They just get the Warlock when all is said and done. However, that is the invisibility rune from Limp expended, as well as the coil, so he could have perhaps done a little bit more damage to the dire lineup elsewhere. And for now, simply compLexity Warlock.
TP rotation from the Warlock coming up top. They might get some damage on Pycat here.
He's level 5, so can go down. And they have, oh, the boar being blocked up by the creeps. He turns around. Upheaval is there, though. So Pycat forced to turn and fight. Moo is not going to be dinging 6 anytime soon. Neither is Pycat. It'll just be a man fight in the top lane. Flame Break flying out will catch the Warlock, and the Curse catches both Dire heroes, or both compLexity heroes. God damn it. The Thirst there, going to give them vision on Moo. He has a TP, but probably will not use it, as he's aware he is visible. Pycat, easy kill for him. Last right click for the Wraith King. And Zai picks up a kill on the Warlock on the southern end of that skirmish as well. CCNC going to shrine up alongside Zai. Has his Rupture available as well, but really wants to get this wave underneath tower before doing so. Now jump forward from Limp, though. They're going to punish CCNC for doing it. Misery inbound, gets the charge off. Zai does not have a lasso ready. And phase shift from Limp is probably going to force the Dire back here. Illusory Orb back to safety. Fisher comes out. Fatal Bonds is there. Can they kill off the Bat Rider? Yeah, he can. Zai will go down.
I think CCNC wanted to clear out the creep wave there. He was waiting for the Spirit Breaker and the Silencer to join up for the Shrine, so he was like, may as well just nuke the wave really quickly, but Limp was ready on the sideline with Puck, so quick 2 kills for compLexity there, puts them a little bit ahead. And, you know, I don't think Pycat's going to be ready to fight for a while, so his team's going to have to be able to get some pickoffs here and there to close the gap.
Zai as well been heavily involved thus far on the Bat Rider. 3-1-0, so not a bad KDA. And he is relatively close to his Blink Dagger. 2,100 gold at this point. Naked Rush, essentially, with only the bottle in his inventory.
And Pycat has to be a little bit careful here. Beastmaster is more than capable of just kiting him forever, so decides to hit a jungle camp while the 4 heroes on his team are on the right side of the map. They'll probably look for a pickoff on either the Puck or the Lone Druid as soon as this Bat Rider completes his blink.
Yeah, they should be well aware that it's fairly close for the Radiant side. Zai's blink, that is, considering he's still sitting on just Brown Boots and Bottle. Often we see, you know, either Tranquils or Drums or some sort of early game oriented item. So should be wary of this pickup, and it is going to fly out now on the Courier.
Z-Freak and Moo are sort of setting up for a for something top. But I think they think against it. They see PPD on the side, yeah.
Gets the vision denied away well, so we don't allow Pycat to hang around for the next bit. Pycat holding on to 2 skill points as it is.
The blink completed on Zai. He's level 7. They have Rupture on Bloodseeker, so we'll see if they try to make a move. The problem is compLexity aren't exactly showing any potential openings right now. Chessie's basically been rotating between the mid lane and these camps under his tower. Puck isn't exactly in a killable position either.
Zai, though, smoked up. He freaking the perfect position to tank this smoke, however. But Zai being close to the pit.
Yeah, Beastmaster is showing on the map, so they might go for that kill instead.
Yeah, charge going to come through. Firefly up from Zai. And they will expend the lasso, bringing him into the charge. Misery still level 4 on the Spirit Breaker, but his Nether Strike not needed, even if it were skilled up. So they bear, you know, their first rotation with the Blink Dagger does bear fruit for Zai and Co. Meanwhile, though, CCNC in trouble mid lane, trying to go for the TP out. Fisher will stop him from doing so, and the return kill is arguably a more valuable one, and judging by the metrics, it certainly is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a mid Bloodseeker for the offlane Beastmaster. More importantly, I think they're going to get a lot of damage on this tier 1 mid, and really nothing the Dire can respond with except trading for that tier 1 top, and lots of TPs heading up top.
Primal Roar available. And they get in range. They will. Z-Freak has a Fisher as well, and the Echo Slam. They're going to block off Pycat. He is not going to skill up Reincarnation.
Probably better not to. I mean, he's dead twice for sure there. And whenever you lose level 1 Reincarnation, it's down for 200 seconds, which is a very long time, and Misery opts to complete his level 6 bottom on Spirit Breaker. I think the next fight should be favorable for the Dire just because they have Global Silence on PPD, so hopefully, well, for their sake, hopefully they take the next fight well, because I can see if they lose the next team fight, they'll be in a pretty bad position because Chelsea's almost done his Radiance. Really no bear hitters on the Dire team, so you're going to have trouble dealing with the Lone Druid going into the mid-late game.
He picks up the last hit on the tower here. He almost has it, and that is certainly cause for concern for the Dire side. They haven't really gotten any mileage out of this mid lane CCNC Bloodseeker. He's 0-3-0, not really participated in any kill, and ever since that, I don't want to say greedy play, but the play to just clean up the wave and keep the tower healthy before they shrined up, things have just gone poorly for this Bloodseeker. They will get the tier 1 bottom, but as you mentioned, this is pretty much Radiance gold here, sub 14 minutes for Chessie.
Double harm, shall I do?
You could say that compLexity are just doing a good job of punishing the Dire for these missteps, and this tower's going down in a hurry. Gone.
Radiance being ferried out currently.
So the Dire, you know, they're just posturing themselves in the enemy jungle, hoping someone comes here to farm, but I feel like compLexity are comfortable just moving around as a unit. So in order for the Dire's lineup to operate, I think they have to somehow split apart compLexity, which is a little bit difficult because compLexity started the mid game with sort of a lead, so they're not really obligated to split up at all. Like, they're not afraid of any of the split push on the Dire, especially with only the Wraith King being in the bottom lane so far.
Right on to the middle tower they will go. Lift utilized here. Radiance is up on the bear. They get the Fisher. Now jump forward from Zai is going to grab up a lasso. Do they have the follow-up damage, though? Underneath the global, can they really kill off this Warlock? They charge through. Primal Roar will be there. The last word will finish off the Warlock, but the Echo Slam from Z-Freak is going to kill off Zai and Misery Spirit Breaker. And now they will jump forward, looking for the bear. Fisher will connect onto 3 from Z-Freak, and a big combo coming through from Limp. Pycat, he's already used his reincarnation. CCNC, they're trying to bring down the bear, and they will be successful in doing so. However, all of Dire dead. Ultra kill for Limp, and a buyback spent on Misery.
I mean, how many times do you see a team just focus fire bear when there's 3 heroes around?
A bear with Radiance, no less.
Yeah, this Radiance is providing a huge problem for the Dire. I think part of it is just they're all of their cores are, like, 2 of their cores are melee, and the Batrider is sort of in a way a melee hero. So it's pretty, the Radiance is just getting so much mileage in these fights, or in that last fight rather.
Cores have been really hindered from progressing in this game on the Dire side. Take a look at the net worth, and it's very skew. You take a look at the levels, and it's heavily dominated by the Radiant side as well. Map starting to shrink quickly, and as you mentioned, early advantage with the bear, starting to take structures, and Chessie has already taken 3 towers in about the last 5 minutes, and he'll go for a 4th here. Will be successful in doing so. Just going to chase down PPD with the bear. Has the Savage Roar if they opt to turn. Needs a root and will get it, just like every good Lone Druid player does. PPD finished off here.
And you just gotta press the root button, right? W plus left click.
Meanwhile, mid lane, Limp initiates onto Pycat, and they'll kill him off. Not even much expended, just a coil there for the Pycat kill. Respawn timers are so low, however, at this juncture in the game that it is very difficult for them to push high ground. They will take the last outer tier tower, however, and Radiant in a very commanding position.
And things are looking pretty dire for the Dire.
I mean, I'm just gonna...
I shouldn't be laughing at that.
I'm just gonna say I'm tired, and that's why I enjoyed that. But
Zai's just like looking for a kill, I think, that he can get with a Spirit Breaker. They need all the pickoffs they can get. He actually spots that move here. Hopefully he gets followed up because compLexity is moving in.
Look to cliff him, unsuccessful in doing so. Savage Roar not there in time.
like Wraith King isn't a hero that catches up easily, so I think Dire, they have to try to find a fight that works for them, but they're fighting an uphill battle right now. I mean, Complexity's 10k net worth ahead. Arguably, their cores are probably better suited this game, with Lone Druid being good against the Wraith King, and you know, Rupture doesn't do any damage if Chessie doesn't have to move just because he's so much more farmed. And since it's mostly the bear that's going to be showing in the fights, and Dire, they smoke up, but they're too late. And,
right under a ward as well. There's a that actually saw them smoke.
Rip.
Indeed.
Complexity. 2 of their lanes are in a nice position, but they're not even scared of a potential split push in the bottom lane, so they're going to start posturing themselves in the middle of the map.
I mean, they only have 5 outer tier towers up at the moment.
Yeah.
Split push is a real concern. Z-Freak does have his Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker, and will just kind of straddle the periphery of the fight here. As he only really throwing the bear up to the high ground. Got the Lotus Orb from behind. Actually, Limp to be the one to pick that up.
And the Dire just looking to spam it out right now. Pycat's still continuing to farm bottom, working on that Echo Saber, but
needs his level 12 desperately as well.
We'll see if they can defend this. I mean, the Dire's best combo right now is probably a Rupture into Lasso, but it's not really safe for Xayah to go into these fights. There's so many stuns, long-range stuns coming from Complexity, so if things go poorly, the moment Xayah jumps in, he's going to get stunned. And so...
Z-Freak is playing extremely far back.
Quite a difficult situation that the Dire are in.
You can see, along with the Firefly trying to nuke up, but now Limp going to initiate forward onto the Silencer, forces PPD to go into the Shrine, and the Bear alone will be enough to bring down the Silencer after the initial combo. Now the Primal Roar, it'll find one on the north. That's going to be CC and C. He's going to end up dropping. Z-Freak still hasn't used anything as the Earthshaker here. Jump forward, now he'll find the Echo Slam. That's a buyback and a death for CC and C, and likely will be game. Chessie finds himself a triple kill, Limp on a monster kill streak, and buybacks aplenty raining down from the Dire side, but none of them will be enough. Ultra kill for the Lone Druid. GG is going to be called, and it's a rampage to end things off for Chessie's.
Pentakill?
What the hell is a pentakill, bro?
Sorry.
Rampage for
well
Chessie's.
played by Complexity.
Yeah, very much so. It definitely felt like from start to finish they had what they wanted, and laning matchups worked out for them. They got an early kill on CC&C in that mid lane, did decently top. Just I don't know. I mean, my scrub mind can't comprehend, you know, the logic behind it, but the Wraith King just felt a little bit out of place for me.
Yeah, it really did, and it wasn't just the Wraith King. I think Complexity just got more out of the lanes than the Dire, and they were able to capitalize on a couple of pickoffs with their Beastmaster top on the Wraith King, and then the Bloodseeker died a couple of times, and I think from there, it was just a very difficult comeback for PPD's team, and hopefully they come back in Game 3, so we have an exciting match, which will be up next.
Commanding victories by both sides in the first 2 games. Looking to move on to the semifinals up against EG are these 2 teams, Complexity and the Dire. We'll see which one is able to pull it out in Game 3. MRP, Franz, ESL One Hamburg qualifiers. We'll be back shortly with Game 3.